just do a little bit of Malachi Moreno talk. So we won't spend too much time on our guy Malachi. 7-footer, great crossing, top 30 recruit. As you'll see in all these clips, he's going against guys that are a lot smaller than him. But you see a lot of things like just right there, like grabs the rebound, runs the floor, dishes off for an easy layup. Like Malachi is a very smart player. I think at great crossing, he was used like, God, that jump shot it's something else right there. Do you want to, let's just run that back so everyone can see. It is going to be funny to see if this actually translates or not, because where you're seeing him shoot here, this is not a college three. That's the high school three. So we'll see if he can actually make that when he translates to Kentucky here. But at great crossing, it just made more sense for him to play under the basket because he's the only 7-footer in the state. At Kentucky, I do think he'll be better served playing more lifted up, like, maybe at the nail and up top of the key, things like that, because he's really is like a talented passer with both hands. I think is a real big thing about him. Like he's going to make some some left-handed passes out of the post to like wide open guys. Like he has that type of skill. The shot blocking obviously speaks for itself. Like that, the shot blocking isn't just a matter of him playing against guys that were 6'5". Like he's got some bounce to him. Like he's going to be able to block a decent amount of shots. All of this might not end up mattering because who knows what his role at Kentucky is even going to look like his freshman season. Like, unless, I'll knock on wood, unless something just goes terribly wrong with Quaintance, you're probably not going to see Moreno too much at all. Like maybe early in the season, in the non-conference, you might see him get some minutes, just especially while Quaintance is still doing his recovery. So it'll be nice to see like what he can actually bring and everything. But I think offensively from day one, he'll probably be a little bit raw. He's going to be a guy that really needs to sit in the offense and learn how to make it happen and actually operate in Pope's offense, I think at least. But defensively, I think he has tools immediately to come in and be a guy who can, be a pretty solid rim protector, especially in the non-conference early on in the season. But like I said, Malachi's probably not going to play too much. He's definitely a project piece. I can easily see him being a very, very good player, like by his sophomore season as well, like a guy that they want to be a rotation guy moving forward. So Brandon, what are your general thoughts on Malachi? I've probably watched this kid play 20 games over the last 2 or 3 seasons, and he has really improved, I will say, especially from last season to this season. Like his Sweet 16 run last year, he was kind of just getting bullied around by kids that were smaller than him. That was not really the case in this Sweet 16 run. He definitely upped his physicality. I think that was important to him. So he's got a lot stronger, a lot smarter, but still it's going to be kind of a transition for him, I think.
Yeah, I think, it's interesting because a lot of your time spent watching Malachi Moreno is probably with Great Crossing because, you're there in Lexington and
you got the Indiana Elite
and all this stuff. And then like I see him play with Indiana Elite because, he was playing with Braylon Mullins and all those guys and, guys that I cover here in Indiana. So I watched him play at, some of the highest levels of AAU basketball and hold his own. I mean, I was out in Rock Hill last year when him and Indiana Elite played for the 3SSB national championship. I mean, that they made it to the championship game, and he was a big part of that run because of a lot of the things you're saying. And he is very, very skilled. And when you say that about him, it's not so much skilled as in, he's going to stretch the floor and make 53s. That's not the skill we're talking about, but it's skill in terms of those front court guys that Mark Pope likes, guys that can handle the ball out on the perimeter a little bit and, get you into handoff and zoom action. He's a guy that can make quick processing passes to guys cutting to the basket. He's a guy that's going to have good footwork around the basket, whether that's on the roll, whether that's out of the dunker spot, whether that's rim running, just like we've talked about with some of these other big men. He has that fluid athleticism that you're looking for. Then defensively, he really does have some excellent defensive instincts, and that's not just blocking shots. Like I've been really impressed watching him in AAU, the way he would get out and hard hedge some ball screens away from the basket and then recover so quickly. He just seems to kind of process the game pretty well on that end of the floor. So I think that you're in a really good position with this front court because I think that you're in a situation where Malachi Moreno is going to play exactly however much he deserves to play, and that's okay. Like if you see him carving out 8 to 10 minutes a game, then again, knock on wood, barring injury, like if he's playing 8 to 10 minutes a game, that means like, hey, this is a top 30 recruit. This is a McDonald's All-American that like we need to have out there because he's really freaking talented. Or he's not going to play. Like he's not going to really be in the rotation once we get into SEC play and everything. It's like, hey, that's okay. Like 7-foot skinny freshman coming from the state of Kentucky, like they're not really supposed to be ready to play from day one at one of the best programs in college basketball. But he absolutely has that projectable talent where year 2, year 3, you're talking about a guy that you're really excited being a part of the rotation. I think that's why I like this Malachi Moreno addition to the front court so much, is because he's talented enough where there's a world where he carves out his own role this year. But if he doesn't, it's okay, because there's enough other pieces there that you can kind of allow him to come along at his own pace. And I think that's really important for young big men to not necessarily have to be thrown to the fire from day one.